on a UN school, on refugee camps within the Gaza Strip. And all of this is playing out across the Arab world on Arab television stations 24 hours a day. So the hospital incident here is seen as just one of many incidents. And then you combine that with the rage, the outrage that people were feeling about this conflict before. Many of us are talking about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict for the first time in many years. Here, it is daily life. It is something that Palestinians live with every day. It is people it is a conflict that people in Egypt and Jordan and Lebanon talk about and feel constantly. So there's a lot of rage that has been building up, and I think that is now pouring over.
Going back to Gaza, because a lot of your report also had to do with the people suffering in Gaza, even after this hospital strike. And I want to ask you, with aid about to come in, hopefully this time, and we've reported this story maybe 3 or 4 times since this war has started, what do the people in Gaza, do you think, what do they need most?
I believe this is Lamas, Tom Lamas.
They will tell you that what they need most is the airstrikes to stop, that the aid coming in is helpful, that they need food, they need water, they need medicine. Every family will have its own particular needs, but overwhelmingly what they want is a safe place to go, not just some trucks coming in bringing supplies,
which they don't have because of both sides.
They say they understand why Israel and Hamas are fighting. Anyone can understand that, but there are 2.3 million people in the Gaza Strip, and those who are not involved in the fight don't understand why there are bombs falling all around them. That is what they will tell you they need most.
Right. And they're
Richard Engel, first, Richard, thank you for that. The reverberations from the hospital attack still being felt throughout the region. So what can we learn from videos of the blast to determine who's behind it? I want to bring in retired Army Colonel Steve Warren.
Okay, so here comes the bullshit.
For campaigns in the fight against ISIS. Colonel, let's start with the videos that we have verified from the time of the attack. One that was captured on Al Jazeera's feed. What stands out to you from these videos?
Here we go.
Well, thanks, Tom. You know, the first thing we see in this video, and it'll roll here, is, you see this white dot moving through the sky. That's clearly a projectile.
We call it the okey doke.
Missile,
get ready,
or a rocket. And then what you see here at a fairly high altitude is an explosion, right? A fireball in the sky. This tells you that something went wrong, right? This isn't what you normally see when a conventional munition is fired. Then later, of course, moments
something
later,
blew
we
up
see
the entire hospital.
This clearly is an impact of some sort. What we're not clear about is what it was. Was it an actual warhead?
See how large that is?
That impacted the ground, or was it the remnants of a missile that somehow malfunctioned or just went wrong somehow?
See how large that is? Now listen to his explanation.
So let's walk through some of the aftermath as well. What can we learn from those
Listen
videos?
to his explanation.
Right. So, the next video that we see here is a daylight video where we're actually able to see
Please
in
pay
a little
attention
bit more clear detail exactly
to what this man is about to say.
And I think what's most notable in this video there's really two things. One is right here, you can see this crater in the ground. What's most notable about this crater is its size, and that size is fairly small. Some are claiming, that this may have been an Israeli missile. This small crater doesn't line up with that. Tom, this reminds me in many cases of the types of craters we saw in Iraq when we would be fired on by these sort of small homemade missiles. The other thing we see here as the camera pans around, there's no significant damage to the structures. Right. So this, again, tells me not a modern conventional munition that we see being used by Western militaries, and frankly, the Israeli military.
Right.
What we have here is...
Colonel,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you explain that point a little more? Explain that point a little more, because I think it's important.
Right. Well, what we see here, we know that Hamas, or in this case, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, they're using in many cases Islamic Jihad, right? They're using in many cases homemade weapons or weapons that they've cooked up, through various means. But these aren't modern conventional,
Right.
powerful weapon systems.
They're not
And so,
powerful.
frankly, what's most noticeable, and especially in this overhead shot, what we see is
They don't have the
burned out
resources.
cars, not exploded cars, right? A conventional
Right.
munition has tremendous force, concussive power. We
Right.
see,
It
and
would
we've seen
blow
this
the
in
cars
other
away.
videos, Tom, of strikes that have happened elsewhere, where you'll see piles of rubble. We don't see that here. What we see is the result of a fireball.
Right.
So it could be that the missile.
This is how you know Israel blew up that
explosion
hospital.
of some sort of an accelerant on the ground. There's speculation that this may have been
Because Hamas doesn't have the money or the firepower.
When it hit the ground, it ignited and created this fireball.
Right.
And then finally, Colonel, how is the U.S. able to conclude that this wasn't Israel that conducted this strike on that hospital?
Because they're full of
You know,
shit.
They use several means, right? They've used a combination, really, of overhead imagery. They've used
See how
open
he keeps
source. So,
looking
frankly,
down?
videos like we're watching here, this has been a real part of their analysis. They've also got intercepts, site analysis, other types of intelligence.
This is
And
a
what they do
crater.
they weave all this together into really a tapestry or a mosaic.
Look,
to
the whole
create a
building
picture.
is
So they use
missing.
various sources, and I can be quite sure that they looked at this exact video that we're watching right now.
So they don't want us to believe our eyes.
And that drove them to the conclusion, that this came from somewhere inside
The
Gaza,
entire
and most likely
building
from Islamic Jihad.
blew up. He literally just said, if you were paying attention to him, he literally just said, the type of bombs that Hamas makes are homemade. They put little craters in the ground, right? And they burn the cars. It's not enough force. They don't have the weaponry. They don't have the money to buy the type of bombs that would blow down a fucking building. But Israel does. The government does. The government has the type of weaponry that if you set off a bomb and you put a handheld bomb in the air, it would blow another bomb out of the sky and then continue to go and keep going and blow up a fucking building. Israel has that type of bomb, not Hamas. You fucking liar. That's why he keeps shifty-eyed looking around. That's why you not once do you see him look into the camera. Because he is lying. He is lying. He is lying.